And yesterday, a remarkable event took place in the race for governor. We're 49 days from the general election, and yesterday might have been a game changer for Lansing Mayor Virg Bernero, who has been trailing in the polls, and it looked like was not going to get any debate opportunities. He decided to take matters into his own hands. He invited himself to the party and turned up, and he's on the other end of our line this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael Patrick. Good to talk to you.
Will you tell us what happened yesterday evening, what you did, and how it turned out?
Well, I decided to drop by Rick's town hall. He has these town hall meetings, which really aren't as informal as it seems. Most are invited guests. Most are, part of the Republican Party already, and Rick supporters already. But I showed up there just to try to break through the noise, break through the clutter, the politics, and ask him directly if we could sit down and negotiate these debates. And he took my letter and said he would sit down to coffee with me to discuss that. That was my request, that we sit down to coffee, and in 20 minutes or a half hour, without the handlers and without the press, without the lawyers, and just say, look, let's have 3 debates. So he agreed to sit down and talk about that, and then invited me in to participate in the town hall meeting. I think some of his members there were shocked to see me and not necessarily happy about me sharing the stage with Rick. They were aghast, some of them. But anyway, it was nice to be able to stand up there. I hope that Rick got a chance. We both talked, and hopefully it wasn't exactly a debate, but and obviously not televised and so on. But hopefully he got some level of comfort with the idea of a joint appearance with both of us. It went just fine. I think he found out that I don't bite, and hopefully now we can move forward with 3 televised debates. There's still plenty of time. That's what voters deserve. They deserve more than infomercials, and we can do that. We can provide that with the debate. But it was a nice opportunity. He was most gracious to invite me in, and I think it was a good time. It was a good start. But now we need those real debates to confront the issues, to talk about the issues facing Michigan and the real differences. Today, Michael Patrick, we're hosting the Volt in downtown Lansing. And that's a key example. I mean, my opponent says manufacturing is a thing of the past and that it needs to be put to bed. We need to put that to bed in Michigan and move on. That's a quote. I vehemently disagree. We're growing manufacturing in Lansing. I think manufacturing is a key part of our future, not just our past, but a key part of our future. Advanced manufacturing is absolutely crucial. This is a key difference between us. That should be fully vetted. That should be, fully fleshed out in a debate, where he gets to explain what did he mean by that, and I get to explain, how I think manufacturing fits into our economic future. It's a key part of my economic plan. We need to discuss those things. Voters need to see it in more than just a 30-second prepared, prefab, orchestrated, scripted commercial. They deserve more than that.
We've been talking to listeners this morning who've been calling in once they heard the story, and all of our political analysts too, and they agree that showed a real boldness yesterday for you to show up at Rick Snyder's event and do so in a very polite fashion. And I think there's no doubt about it. That took some stones.
Well, of course, Michael Patrick, you've known me for a while, and I believe you got to be tough to lead. That's what leadership is. You got to have the courage of your convictions. And I think I've demonstrated that over time. I mean, I have not been leading during easy times in Lansing. These have been tough times, and I believe I'm a tested leader. And in 5 years, I've balanced 5 budgets, no tax increase. I've had people yelling that we should increase taxes. I've made the tough decisions. We've made the cuts. We've gotten concessions from our unions. I led by example. I cut my pay. I doubled what I pay for health insurance. I gave up the city car. That helped us to get the concessions. If you look at how I led in tough times, I got the job done, and I led by example. And I'm ready to stand up and compare that leadership to Rick Snyder's leadership at Gateway. And when people say, he just did what business people do, you can't really blame him for moving Gateway to China. That's what business does. They outsource. And I said, but that's not courageous leadership. We don't need somebody who just goes with the flow right now. Michigan is in trouble. Michigan is hurting. We need a leader who's willing to stand against the grain, against the tide, and do what's right. And the business people that I have great respect and admiration for are people who stuck it out here in Michigan. who stuck it out in tough times. I work with them every day, Michael Patrick, business people. I work to keep them here and to help them grow. And that's why my state bank proposal deals with one of the major issues, which is the lack of access to capital. Small business can't grow right now because they can't get a loan from Wall Street banks. This guy is never going to stand up to Wall Street because he is Wall Street. I don't mean it as a personal attack. It's just the way it is. You can't expect somebody who's of, by, and for Wall Street to turn around and stand up and be a friend to people on Main Street.
We did talk to candidate Snyder about 20 minutes ago, and he said that he read your letter and that he was going to meet with you for coffee somewhere. I told him that we've got a coffee house right here next to our Gillespie Group studio on Michigan Avenue, and he laughed. He said it'd probably be somewhere quieter than that, to tell you the truth. But he did say that he was not of a mind to change his opinion that he is not going to participate in any debates, though he is going to meet with you.
And this is a really interesting thing, Michael Patrick. His team is putting out different things, conflicting things. His team is saying he never agreed to sit down with me. He did shake my hand and say he would sit down to coffee, so I'm glad to hear he's agreed to that, to keep his word. But, it's interesting, his uncompromising position on this. He issued an ultimatum that said no more debates. That's it. No Zoop for you, basically, because we wanted to compromise a little bit. And it kills me because he presents himself as a bipartisan guy and a different kind of politics. That may be how they do things on Wall Street, issue ultimatums and final demands. That's not how things really work in the public service realm. You're going to have to deal with reluctant legislators. You're going to have to deal with the judicial branch. You're going to have to deal with business and community groups and labor groups. You don't govern in a kingly fashion. I mean, you got to be tough, yes, but you don't issue uncompromising demands, especially on something like this where there's plenty of room for negotiation. And his team, their goal has been to block access to the debate. They wanted to debate in a closet. They wanted to restrict access to the debate. That's the part I couldn't go along with. I don't care who the moderators are. I don't care if it's a 1-minute opening or a 3-minute opening. I do care about access to the debate because there's no sense in having a debate in a closet where nobody's going to see it and nobody's going to hear it and then say, oh, yeah, we had a debate. I'm not into false gestures. I'm not into these faux things, these fake things, like the town hall meetings that he had. He says, why, we've had 52 town hall meetings. That's great. You've had 52 meetings with people who agree with you. That's no great feat. Let's have a town hall meeting debate where we invite anybody to come in, get an auditorium, invite the media, have a Michael Patrick in the middle, and to moderate if you want it. Otherwise, just have the two of us and let the public ask questions. But invite the public, the general public, and invite the media so that those who can't make the meeting can watch it on TV, that they can see what we're really all about. They can see what's on our heart, what's in our minds, how we operate, and take a measure of the man. You got to interview for the job. You don't get the job without the interview. Here on Main Street, on Wall Street, it might be that way, that somebody's already arranged it for you and greased the skids. But here on Main Street, you got to apply for the job and go in for the interview. The public deserves that. The public is the boss, and they deserve an interview. And the interview is called the debate process.
Do you know when the coffee meeting will take place?
I don't. We'll be in touch with Rick's camp today and hope to get an answer and hope that the handlers don't get in the way again. He's got a lot of handlers. I saw him there. And they're great. They're helpful. But you got to run your own campaign. You got to take responsibility. You can't just be pushed around by the handlers.
All right. Thank you very much for the time this morning. Congratulations on that bold move yesterday.
Thanks, Michael Patrick. Appreciate it.